computer.
Hello again. I am Rachel. I'm here with Bente today with another conversation out of our inspiration to support each other and you all in this time of huge transition in the world and in the cosmos, that we are having a conversation about the possibilities and challenges that are coming up around the planet Uranus being in Taurus. So Bente is going to share this, what we need to know about this movement in the cosmos. And Bente is Bente is an astrologer, an intuitive guide, and a conscious channel. And so she is going to be sharing her expertise and her wisdom in this arena, her insight. And I'm so honored to be with you today, Bente, and sharing your heart with us. And so curious about what you have brewing.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. It's so nice to be here with you again. And I've been looking forward to this because I think it's so important in this time to try to figure out what is actually going on within us. And with Uranus in Taurus, and the planet Uranus, I will explain what the symbolism of Uranus is, and also with the placement in Taurus. But it's been there since it had a visit there from May to October in 2018, but didn't fully enter Taurus until March 2019, and it will stay there until April 2026. So it's quite a long time. And these planets, like Uranus, are slow moving. So they stay for in the same sign for a number of years. And that means that it's actually influencing the collective, all of us. It's indicative of a process that we are going through as humanity. So therefore it's very interesting to know something about how it affects us. And my intention with talking about this is to help people identify what is going on in their lives and also in their physical body, because this transit is affecting matter, our material world, and also our body to a great degree. So and it's also about what you need to let go of at this point in time. So I will start talking about Uranus and what it means, because Uranus is representative of our higher consciousness, of our higher mind, and it also represents higher frequencies. So when Uranus is active, we have sudden insights, ideas, creative inspiration in the thought form, and it's also about sudden changes and sudden changes, yes, and insights that seems crystal clear in the moment when they arise. It's also about computers and technical stuff. And when Uranus came into Taurus in 2019, it affected our earth, our bodies, our material world, and it really came in with a higher frequency. So, and with Taurus is very much the opposite of Uranus. So Taurus is the matter, the solid, our physical body, our physical senses, and the earth our ground, our food. And so it's actually about what is happening is upgrading our bodies. So with that process going on, a lot is happening within us. And even, I mean, there is changing outside of us, and I won't be able to cover everything in this session or this conversation we are doing right now, but I will concentrate on how it affects our body and the earth partly as well. And what's interesting to see that when this higher frequency and higher consciousness comes into the earth and into our bodies, we actually often react with fear. And Taurus likes things to be the same, to stay the same, to have safety, to have security, to don't rock the boat. And with this explosive, electrifying energy coming in, that's impossible. You have to let go of the way things used to be. And we are forced to change in a way. So, but the strength with Taurus is that it is grounded, stable, feet on the ground, low simplicity. So that is also help us to ground these changes that is going on. So I wanted to share some of my story, what was happening with me at that time. And looking back at it now, it's easier to see the process and what was going on. When you are in the middle of a transition or a change, it's difficult actually to know what is happening.
I would love to hear your example of that.
Yeah. So it actually started then in 2018 because I experienced in the middle of that process when Uranus first went into Taurus. I experienced, I don't know how you say it in English, but you have some crystals in your ears that is there to keep your balance. And sometimes those crystals that's in there, they change position. And we have a name for it in Norwegian. It's definitely not the same in English, I guess. But what happens is that you get extreme dizziness when you lie down, that everything is just spinning around.
Wow. Like vertigo? Is it like a dizziness?
Yeah, it's not when you are walking, it's more when you lie down. It's like you're falling and falling and falling, and it's just spinning. Okay. So that was
fascinating that there are crystals in our ears. Just about that. So these crystals are affecting you. Yeah. Something's happening in your ears.
Yeah. They change position so that you lose your balance, the feeling. Yeah. So that was really bothering me, but a chiropractor know how to get those crystals back into place again with some maneuvers that they do with the body. So, but at least that started my process. I didn't think of it that way, but it did. And it went on for at least a couple of months before it stabilized itself. But what happened when Uranus come into Taurus permanently in next year was that I was reading a book by Rebecca Campbell, and
Yes.
we both know her. Yes, but that's actually how the two of us met on one of her retreats in Glastonbury. So I think it was in preparation for that trip that I started reading one of her books. I don't remember if it was Rise is to Rise or Light is the New Black. Uh, uh, but in that book, she asked a question, and it said, imagining yourself as a 86-year-old person, what would you like to say to yourself now from that perspective? And I remember I was lying in my bed reading this book, and I thought, okay, what would I say? And I just opened up and listened to my own voice, and what came out was that I said to myself that, what was the word again? What are you waiting for? The time is now. Just get.
Oh, I got chills just hearing that. Oh. What are you waiting for?
Yes. What are you waiting for? It was like it was just and the message was actually to quit my job. Nothing less than that. And
what was your job at that time?
I was working as a senior advisor in the HR what's the word again? In HR.
Okay.
Yeah, with recruitment and strategy. And actually, the next day, I was doing a seminar with my boss. We were going away for this seminar, and I didn't sleep all night. And I thought, my goodness. So having this in mind when going to this seminar, and I thought, no, this must be wrong. I do enjoy so much working where I am and doing what I do, and the people I work with. There is no way that this can be the case. So I was kind of happy with that. But then going to bed again, and I just, oh my gosh, no, this is not going away. So, and this is not the first time I have messages coming to me like I'm guided. So I knew when I tuned in that this actually the time was in. And no, I forgot what to say. Yeah.
You have to acknowledge baby in the background there. This is his spot. He likes to join our conversations. And so just acknowledge the dog in the background who's
yes he's always with us, so that's really nice. He's like this calming presence. Yes, healing presence. So okay, so I realized that yes, because I had started working as an intuitive guide already part-time beside my main work, so it was a transition over to doing it full time. Yeah.
You made a leap and just completely left this, working at this high level in the corporate world and got a message of, what are you waiting for? You need to get out of it. You need to make a big leap. And actually, when we met, that was the first, I didn't even know you at this time, but one of the first things I heard you say was, I just quit my job. You didn't say, I left my job in order to do this, and this. She's like, I left. And I didn't know you at that point, but I was very intrigued. It's like, wow, this woman's got something going on. I need to know her.
And I think also this retreat the energy of the retreat before we actually met, also I could also feel the changing happening in the earth, that a new energy was brewing. So everything was calling to me to make the leap right then, and knowing that we were going on this retreat in Glastonbury, which is a very sacred site, also knew that I had support in this choice and to move forward from it. So I don't think that it's right for everyone to make that kind of changes. It doesn't have to be quite that big in a way. It can be smaller, but the reason why I share it is that with Uranus in Taurus, we really need to look at how our physical life is arranged. Do we need to make some changes actually to be able to express who we are?
When you say our physical life, you mean like that includes not just our bodies, but our world, like our work, what we do in our kitchens, like how we feed ourselves, all these components, the people we surround ourselves with. Does all of that fit in it?
It's more like the housing, for example, the food you are eating, where you are living, the energy of the place where you are living. I know that you bought this land. I think, and I think we all can relate to that. We being on different places actually affects us in different ways. Some places open us up, some places just makes us stressed.
Okay, so that's how that related with your work, because it was you being in that environment wasn't your environment that you wanted to move forward in.
Yes, I think that's a very good way of putting it. I think it was actually nothing wrong with it. I really enjoyed it, but I was moving forward. I was changing within, so I need to find something that was more aligned with who I was becoming. And I think, and also looking back, when people listening to this, looking back to your life at that point in time, both in the period in 2018 and also when it actually permanently moved in 2019, yes, to see what changes happened at that time. And I know that a lot of us have gone through different kind of physical sensation and changes. And looking at this from a perspective that is actually your body that is being upgraded.
Wow.
And when saying that, it doesn't mean that we don't go to see doctors or whatever. It just I think it's just so helpful to have another perspective on it as well, to see the symbolism.
Wow. It's when you're saying this, makes me think about my own life in 2019 and how it was such a big year. And it was the year before the pandemic. And so the pandemic definitely went into the physical shifts that we all went through in the world. But 2019 felt like a year in leading up to the pandemic, felt like an amazing year, but also a time of big transition for my own world. I had a major surgery in 2019, and like, oh, well, there it is. Like, it was an upgrade, and not something that is something that I lost, or well, there was my body is different now than it was before. So anyway, that's so interesting that it really showed up in a big way in the physical world in 2019.
And that's so interesting that you say that, because we actually let go of something of the old has to be let go of. And letting go is really important in order to allow ourselves to go forward.
Wow. Well, and I'll just share that surgery was a hysterectomy, and after years of severe endometriosis, and a history of that, my mother had a hysterectomy when she was 27 years old. So I was able to keep mine for 20 years longer, at least. But letting go of this, who would, never would have guessed that I would need to let go of a uterus. But this was a part of this. This brings light into it being, this was a gift. This was a transition. This was something that was a part of a bigger picture. So
thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Yes. That's is very deep and personal process to go through.
Oh, wow. And in your world, it showed up as your job.
Yeah.
My world here, it showed up in this way.
Yeah.
So for others watching, maybe if they pay attention to what significant physical shift happened in their world in 2019.
And I also think the crystals in the air and that problem and the dizziness, it felt like my world were turned upside down, and I completely lost the grip on it. So it was very symbolic, and it prepared me for the changes that I needed to do next year. Yes, so it was a forewarning or a preparation time.
Oh. Wow.
So, but it's also interesting that you mentioned the COVID, because I think that coming in 2020, yes, of course, yeah. It also affected us as humanity in all over the world on a very physical level. Suddenly, out of nowhere, we were not allowed to meet in physical at lockdowns. We were not allowed to hug. We were not allowed even to shake hands. I mean, how is that possible to create a scenario when the physical is so changed? The physical meeting was completely changed. We weren't allowed to meet in physical almost at periods. So wow. Yeah, that is really wow.
Yeah, it's huge world shift.
Yes. And I must admit, I don't really see the total perspective on this change at this point in time. But when preparing for this conversation, it really hit me how extraordinary powerful that process has been for very many people, not being allowed to see each other, young people not being allowed to see their friends, being socializing, touching each other. So and also I think COVID, for those who had the illness, is something also affect our physical senses. I mean, smell, taste. So there is something going on with our the change in our physical senses. So just being aware of that there is a change going on collectively that we have been going through. And also Uranus is about computer and the technical stuff. And during the period of Corona, we have been meeting on Zoom or whatever programs they use to meet on. So we have been meeting online instead of physical. So, and they say that the how we have developed and our insights into computer stuff and how we have learned about this stuff has go so much faster than they thought that we would learn about this stuff, because we have been forced to do it.
Okay, so it made us a leap forward.
Yes, a quantum leap.
Quantum leap forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it also opened up new possibilities. I mean, like we are cooperating from different kind of the world. Is just a natural way to do it. So
we're partners in this work, and you're across the ocean from me.
Yeah.
And it's morning here and it's evening there, and it's just it's fascinating. It's
Yes,
that we can do this, and that time during COVID made us see that it's just made it more normal.
And I saw in the work I'm doing. I started my company working face to face with people, and that lasted for about not half a year before I was forced to go online, because the COVID didn't allow me to work one-to-one in person. So it's actually yes, open up a whole lot of new possibilities.
So moving forward from this, we're not even in the middle of it yet, right? We're still kind of at the beginning of it. Is it 4 more years that you said? Or
yes, 4 more years, 2026. Yes.
So what do you suggest we notice, or what do we need to know for these next 4 years?
Yes, and if we only take the next year or the next a couple of weeks, because even though this lasts for 2026, every time a planet hits that point when Uranus is standing, or if we have a full moon or new moon, it activates the energy and increases the energy. And that is actually happening on the next new moon, which is on the 30th of April.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the new moon is a conjunct Uranus. It means that the theme of Taurus and Uranus is amplified. So I would say the frequency and the energies coming in to our body, into Earth on the next new moon is very powerful. And I don't know if you know about the Schumann resonance. It's like the heartbeat of the Earth that can be measured in hertz. It's 8.3 hertz, I think, and it's increasing, but that have been steady for a lot over years, and now it start increasing, which is really extraordinary. So those of you who are interested in this kind of scientific things, you can Google Schumann resonance and read about the increase in that frequency. So also the solar flares are affecting the earth and us living here. So there's a lot of energy bombarding us right now and in this process. So with the new moon, how can you consciously feel into what you need to let go of at this point in time? What is holding you back from expressing and being who you truly are? Is there anything in the physical that is holding you back or restraining you in any way that you need to let go of? That can be something that can help you identify what changes you need to make in your own life. And also, I think also it can open us up to new ways of experience the earth. For it bringing the higher consciousness into earth, and how do we experience the healing force of the earth, for example? How do we connect with the energies of the earth? How do we allow this to heal us and transform us?
What powerful questions, and some really deep feelings in my heart come up when you ask those questions. What an honor to be guided in this way, to be present with these energies at the new moon, especially.
Yeah. And I think especially the earth is really helping us to align with the new energies. Being out in nature, lying down or sitting on the earth, or just working or planting flowers or growing vegetables, being close to this simple down to earth is really helping us. So because I think we are also in, I don't think we are in the process of letting go of a lot of things that has a lot of things that have pained us, or where we felt betrayed or deceived. Those kind of feelings is coming up to the surface also with this new moon.
Wow. So if we feel those things come to the surface, do you have a suggestion on what we might do with that? That, if it's feelings or memories of being betrayed or deceit or any of that, what can we do?
Yeah, I think that's such a beautiful question, because I think we so easily believe we have to do something. I think it's allowing the feelings to arise, to come up, to come to the surface, and to actually feel them. Observe them, not try to hold them back or deny them, but allow them to into the light, and kind of embrace them and acknowledge them, not try to make them go away. It's more like they need to be seen and honored and felt.
Yeah.
And I think that nature can help us heal. Being out in nature, being on the land, being on can help us release the pain we have gone through. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And how lovely and wonderful that nature is our companion with this, that nature holds us and helps us, that we're not alone in it. It's so easy for us humans to separate ourselves from nature and see us as you know, we forget that we also are nature, and go and allow nature to remind ourselves that nature is with us and that we are a part of it, and to spend more time sitting next to a tree or sitting in a field of grass or just looking at a flower, that those things really are more than just, oh, this makes me feel good. It is a part of our humanness and our self-care.
Yeah. And also brings us back to our divinity, because we are all one with nature as well. So yeah,
that beautiful reminder of that divine within us.
Yeah. So instead of feeling that we have to do so much, I think it's more like relaxing into being. Just be and allow things to come up to the surface. And also there is a lot of powerful energies, warlike energies, not only in the outside world but also within us. So finding peace within is so important, and that's why we also need to have things coming up and up to the surface, and embrace also the painful things. So let me think, what was it, anything else I wanted to share on that topic? Because yes, and also all the symptoms they have, either being the air, the eyes, or the smell, taste, listen in to try to sense what is going on underneath these symptoms, because there is signs of changes going on in yourself. And it's said that when one of our physical senses are diminished or broken or whatever, that the other physical senses get stronger. For example, if you are blinded, your hearing increases. So just observe what is going on. Try to get the message your body is giving to you through this. And
what is the perspective, rather than being like, oh man, my ears are just clogged and I can't hear so well today, or my, the I'm feeling out of balance, like going, instead of like, oh, I'm going, instead thinking or feeling into, okay, what is this shift bringing me? What else is there for me in this? Like, what might I see more clearly, or sense more clearly, because this thing is a challenge for me right now.
Yeah. And like you said, it's so easy to go into irritation when things aren't working the way we are used to, but very often we are forced to slow down. And that's the theme about Taurus as well. It's like being in the present, being grounded, being here and now.
Always such a good reminder to slow down, be present, be here now. Thank you, Taurus.
And allow the change to change you. So the last thing I just going to mention is a period in the mid-July, or the end of July this year, where the North Node is hitting Uranus. And the North Node is our future collective destiny right now. So is also reminding us to allow to feel painful feelings, and this will also increase the feelings of betrayal and where we have been deceived, and instead of going into war or going into anger, feel into the peace and go within and try to accept the feelings, and if you need help to work through it, but it's something within that we need to it's time for it to let go, to be released. So, and I when watching the world stage right now with the war going on in Ukraine, yeah, it's I think we can all work on this within ourselves as well.
Yeah, noticing the inner battles, the inner wars.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it is a lot to do with needing to be in control, needing to, that's what we are letting go of. That's what's have outlived its purpose, to be in control, to have control over others. So you don't have to feel the pain, you don't have to feel the frustration of not being in control. So we try to control others, control your own pain. So feel the pain and find your way of releasing it.
So know and feel our own pain and then allow it to be released.
Yes. Yes.
Not judging it, but allowing it to move through.
And it's actually these energies going on right now, it makes it easier to do exactly that. The time is more painful to hold on to this than to let go of it. So work with the energies, and if you feel fear around it, ask for support, ask for help, whatever you need to go through this. We don't have to go it alone anymore. We can have support, but we need to ask for it.
Yes. Yes. I love how it brings us back to that we're not alone in this. We're moving out of this independent solo journey, but more into like, we're not alone. We are together. Reach out, connect.
Community.
And community. Yes. We all want that sense of belonging and connection. And in our pain can be a way of connecting when we reach out and say, hey, can you be with me? Can you just be with me in this?
Wow. It's so beautiful said. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Bente. Is there anything,
thank you.
Anything else you want to send us with, or do you feel?
I think the way you summed it up there was just beautiful. And I think that's a beautiful way of ending this. And I'm just hoping people find this helpful and supportive in a way to navigate these exciting times.
Yes, yes, so exciting, and such depth and challenge and beauty at the same time. So,
Yes.
well, thank you. I am going to be sitting with this, and especially with the new moon coming up, like really being aware of remembering what you've shared today and being with these energies. So, thank you again. Till our next time.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.